$10 NFL parlay for week 6 could win you $1,000. Yeah, we're going to do just that. It's Austin joined by Logan from Calling Our Shot. I got to talk about last week, Logan. I'm jumping into a recap. Last week, I was so dang close. So I'll throw it up on the screen. I cashed 5 of 6 legs, and we just missed by Bijan Robinson 100+ rushing yards. It was so close. I'm telling you guys, we were going to hit one of these. The week before, I was super close. Last week, as close as it gets. Addison at 60+, Hopkins at 60+, Hopkins at over 100. Zach Wilson threw an interception. That was free. And then Devon Achane, he had 60+ on the touchdown like the first quarter. It was so close. 5 out of 6, truly heartbreaking. But we're going to get one of these. I guarantee you that. The only worst part about it is that I was in attendance for Bijan stinking it up. I obviously didn't know the rest of the legs would cash, but dang, that was heartbreaking. But it shows that we are knocking on the door. We're going to get it done. And as always, we are going to be on DraftKings. And if you are new to DraftKings, you can get $200 in bonus bets plus a no-sweat same-game parlay on every day of the NFL season. So take advantage of it. All the details are down below. We love DraftKings. That's where we do these. If you do these on FanDuel, you normally get much worse odds. So take advantage on DraftKings. If you are also new, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a like. We have a bunch of other NFL videos before this one. We'll post our favorite player props video. You can go check out that. We had 5 props in that one, and we really like the prop card we cooked up, so go check out that video. The thumbnail looks like the one that you're seeing on the screen. I'll link it at the end of this video, as well as I'll link our favorite spread picks video, which was posted Friday afternoon. Both those videos linked at the end. But Logan, I'm diving right in. Let's try to cash this one. I got 6 legs. Let's start with the hardest one first. It's going to be Darnell Mooney, 50+ receiving yards at plus 225 on his own. Now, starting off with the hardest leg, got to get this one done before we can move on to the rest of the games. But you look at Mooney, it's been a roller coaster ride this season. He's at 53, then 0, 51, then 0. So will that trend continue where we see him goes 50+ receiving yards? It's not like this guy is not getting targeted. Had 4 targets last week, just 0 receptions. Him and Justin Fields just did not connect on any passes. But this is a Viking secondary that is, number one, not good. And number 2, if they have any game plan in the world, they had to have watched the Thursday Night Football game where DJ Moore went off for 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. Look, if there's any guy you're going to target to stop on the Bears passing attack, it's going to be DJ Moore. And I think Darnell Mooney gets a lot of one-on-one coverages. Coming off 0 receptions, 0 yards last week, I think him and Justin Fields have a connection this week, and I like him to get a reception and get 50+ receiving yards. I know it's crazy, but I really do think he has a good chance. Now, my second leg is going to be a guy we've talked about a ton in our regular player props video. It's going to be Adam Thielen. Over 5.5 receptions, minus 130. Logan's wearing his Panthers polo to show me love and support, but Thielen's been a cash cow for us. While I'm not on his regular receptions over in terms of a 1-unit play this week, I still do think this guy's going to get a 6 receptions. Look at the last 4 weeks, 7, 11, 7, 11. This guy's been crushing it. He's 7-11. He's always open. That's what Jamar Chase said. But still, this is a guy that's getting a ton of targets, not running deep routes, and a game that they're underdogs by 14, 15 points. Likely that the Panthers will be throwing the football. Decent weather in Miami. I'm confident Thielen goes out there, grabs 6 receptions. Might be for 12 yards, but look, we don't care how many yards he gets this week. We just want 6 receptions. I certainly think he can get that. It's minus 130. Pretty confident there. The next one's going to be actually a play that I have 1 unit on, plus a little bit of a sprinkle on his 6+ receptions. It's Evan Ingram of the Jacksonville Jaguars, over 4.5 receptions. If you want more of a sell job on this, go check out our player props video where I talk about why I'm playing this for 1 unit on its own, as well as for 6+ receptions, which is about plus 195. But Ingram playing against the Colts already did it once this year. He had 5 receptions versus them earlier this season. And so far this year, you've seen him have 5 versus the Colts, then 6, 7, 7, and then only 4 receptions last week. He had 8 targets, though, 8 targets in 4 straight weeks. I'm pretty confident he gets the volume. The Colts were cooked by Calvin Ridley in week 1. Imagine they make some adjustments, but Evan Ingram didn't necessarily cook them. Had 5 receptions for like 40 yards. I think they're going to be comfortable with that. Zay Jones also out for this game. I'm very confident Evan Ingram at least gets 5 receptions, hopefully 6 to cash our alternate ladder that we have going for him in that player props video. Let's keep moving though. 4th leg, another tight end, Jonnu Smith, 40+ receiving yards at plus 140. The Atlanta Falcons tight end, well, he's actually had a much better season than Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts broke out last week, but you still saw a guy like Jonnu Smith still hit this over with pretty much ease, and he's become a big weapon for Desmond Ridder in Atlanta as they go up against the Commanders. But you look at the last 4 games, Jonnu, 47, 37, 95, and 67 yards. So he cashed this in all, and 3 of 4. The one miss was with 37 yards. This guy getting a ton of targets, 6+ targets the last 4 weeks. Look, Desmond Ritter's not really a guy that throws it deep down the field. We've seen this Commanders defense get burnt by a lot of wide receivers recently, but Jonnu is not necessarily your typical tight end. He's still kind of lining up outside. They don't really use him and Kyle Pitts, as normal tight ends. Jonnu Smith been that trusted guy. He's also good at yards after the catch. I'm certainly confident he gets those targets, gets those yards, 40 yards. Certainly confident he can get that. Fifth leg, Devontae Smith, 70 plus receiving yards, plus 185. We're going to see the Jets try their best to stop A.J. Brown. Likely Sauce Gardner going to shadow him, but the Jets' second cornerback is DJ Reed. We've seen Reed, he's out of this game. They're going to have to put in some backups out there, and I think Devontae Smith will have the best matchup for the Eagles. We're also seeing Devontae, just like Mooney, coming off a stinker. 1 reception, had 5 targets, 6 yards in week 5. You've seen him this season, been a very big of roller coaster guy. 47, then 131, 28, then 78, then 6. I really expect to bounce back here. This is a guy they target deep too. Could see him get it done, but we saw some wide receivers have some success versus the Jets last week. I certainly am confident Devontae Smith can get 70 plus. And then the sixth and final leg is going to be a guy by the name of Christian McCaffrey. Anytime touchdown score, it's minus 175. I needed this to get above the 10,000 mark, and I'm certainly confident he can get that done. If CMC does not score a touchdown, you know who jinxed him. It was going to be this guy. I really do think this guy that scored in 14 straight games. The only reason this is a minus 300 is because it's a tough matchup against the Browns, but he can do it in the air, do it on the ground, he can do it anyway. You imagine, CMC's been so good, so locked in, anytime touchdown score. So there you go, my 6 legs, $10 to win over 1,000. Can we get the luck to go 6 for 6? Last week we were 5 for 6. I think the week before we were 4 or 5 or 4 or 6. This week we are 6 of 6. I just made you $1,000. I'm gonna let Logan recap his last week, and we'll see what he's got cooked up. Logan, what you going with this weekend?
Yeah, so I didn't come as close to you, Austin. Last week, I had an okay week as far as my recap goes. Let's talk about it real quick. Calvin Ridley, 70-plus receiving yards. He absolutely cooked the Bills. That was a really good matchup there. Stafford, 300-plus yards. Fortunately, Stafford came up short there. Hayden Hurst, 40-plus receiving yards. What am I doing? Trusting a Panthers tight end. He still had a ton of routes run. That one, unfortunately, missed. Breece Hall, over 12.5 rushing attempts. That one cashed. And then the Waddle SGP. Waddle did get a touchdown, but damn, he had like 30-something yards in the first half. He didn't get any more catches in the second half. Fortunately, we missed there. But Austin, I really like the parlay I cooked up this week. I actually think it's my best one so far. Let's dive right into it. And we're going to the Titans stud running back, Derrick Henry, over 16.5 rushing attempts, minus 110 odds on this individual leg. Now, Derrick Henry and the Titans faced the Ravens in London, so make sure you get this one in its early start time. Last week, Derrick Henry only had 13 attempts for 43 yards. A very pedestrian, game for a guy like Derrick Henry. Ravens are only middle of the pack in terms of rushing yards allowed, and this Titans offense runs through Derrick Henry. I mean, the game plan will be to establish Derrick Henry, especially got the weird early start time. 22 attempts for 122 yards he had in the prior game. That's more what the Titans want to do. That's the philosophy. That's the reason they call him King Henry. I think King Henry dominates, over in London. I mean, they're going to, how many times, over under 10.5 times the broadcast says King Henry in London. But yeah, I really do like him. Now, second leg, we're going to Mike Evans of the Bucs, 80-plus receiving yards, plus 165 on this one. Now, Mike Evans is the ultimate, lotto ticket kind of parlay guy, because he's coming off a pedestrian 3 catches for 40 yards in week 4. Coming off a bye week, I expect the volume and the targets to be there certainly for Mike Evans. If you look at his game log this year, this is a guy you want to take for 80-plus yards, because look, 66, 171, 60, and 40. So he hovers around, 60-ish yards. Occasionally, he'll have the breakout game, like the ridiculous 171 game. And he faces a pretty decent matchup this one. In the Lions, 18th in passing yards allowed. The Bucs are trailing. There will be plenty of deep shots to Mike Evans. I know that for sure. And I still expect the Bucs to be very competitive in this one. The Lions' defense and their secondary as a whole isn't necessarily locked down. I think Baker and Mike Evans definitely connect on some deep shots there. So I'll take him as my second leg. Now let's go to the third leg. I'm taking a touchdown score. I'm taking Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, anytime touchdown, minus 125 odds on this one. I mean, it's not plus value for a reason. Hurts is a rushing touchdown in 3 out of 5 games this year. He also has 4 touchdowns on the ground in 4 games. So he's been a really efficient runner, and we know why he's been getting these ground touchdowns. It's no secret. We know the Eagles' offensive line is experts in what they call the brotherly shove, and that's, I think, what we get here. Any short-range goal-to-go situation, telling you right now, the ball will be in Jalen Hurts' hands and push through on the goal line. They're not going to turn around and give it to Swift or Kenneth Gainwell. It's going to be the Jalen Hurts show, and I do like him to fall into the end zone. I think he has a good chance at that one. Now let's go to the fourth leg. Taking Stephon Diggs of the Bills, 100-plus receiving yards, plus 145 on this one. Diggs has an absolute dream matchup against the New York Giants. I mean, everyone knows that. This one is probably the most obvious leg I could pick. Diggs has 100 plus yards in 3 straight games and 4 out of 5 total this season. He's been really great. The Giants ranked 23rd in yards per play allowed. They've been getting gashed through the air, and honestly, a guy like Stephon Diggs should be able to feast on Sunday Night Football. It's a shame that this game is played in primetime like that, but I don't know. I think the Diggs and Josh Allen connection is way too strong to go away from it. Now let's talk about another connection that's strong. How about Cooper Kupp of the Rams, over 7.5 receptions, plus 110 odds on this one. Kupp returned from injury last week with 8 receptions on 12 targets for 118 yards. Really, really solid, showing. And there's a few guys in the NFL that I just don't think the books can price. Cooper Kupp is that guy, because given the volume, how do you set his receptions line? He's going to get double-digit targets, and normally he's pretty sure hands, and he can come down with them. Kupp and Stafford face a bad Cardinals secondary, and we saw the chemistry finally reignite last week between Kupp and Stafford. Arizona 24th in passing yards allowed, and should provide opportunities for another high-volume day for Cooper Kupp. I really do like his receptions over at 7.5. Now let's talk about the last leg. It's going to be Davante Adams of the Raiders, anytime touchdown scorer, plus 115 odds on this one individually. Now, the Patriots secondary and their defense as a whole is pretty banged up. I don't need to tell you that. Just go look at them. They are not what they thought they would be this season. And Adams has actually gone 2 straight games without a touchdown. Prior to that, he had a touchdown. He had 3 touchdowns in his previous 2 games. I just think this is a definition of like one of those guys that are due. Because last week, very pedestrian game for Davante Adams. Everyone was like, "Oh, Packers revenge game. Got to pick some Davante props." Yeah, no, only 4 catches for 45 yards. That was more of an anomaly for a guy like Adams. New England's 25th in scoring defense. They really have not been shutting anybody down, and the red zone targets will be there. I just need him to come down with one and get us that touchdown. And now that will wrap up this parlay. As you can see, $10 over $1,000. I think it stands a really good chance at cashing.
Logan, I love it. I'll throw up both of our parlays right over our faces. Look, I think we got a really good shot. I really like the one you sent me and that one that you cooked up for the kids. Betting on a lot of the stars to get it done. Hopefully you can survive London like you did last week. I certainly think you got a good chance. So those are our 2 parlays of the week. Let's try to cash one of them. It's just week 6, so we've been knocking on the door. We're gonna get one done one of these days. Hopefully it is this week, week 6. We both cooked up 6 leg parlays. I think the writing's on the wall. We're smacking one. But as always, we have some other videos on the channel if you want to go check it out. Our favorite player props, which include a couple guys we talked about already today. Plus, you can go check out our favorite spread picks for Sunday. Go check out those videos. They're linked on the screen. We appreciate you guys all your love and support. DraftKings reminder, if you want to sign up, all the details down below. Austin, Logan signing out. We'll see you guys back again next week. Hopefully shooting some money guns and having $1,000, maybe $2,000 in our pocket. That would be awesome. We'll see you guys then. Peace.